Good afternoon, everyone, and get started with our Q&A. Our first question is virtual, and we have Dan Munoz with the Bergen Record. Daniel.
Hey, thanks for doing this. Can you hear me?
Barely.
Your audio is not coming through well.
I'll just start my question. I want to reference media coverage by Gothamist that references the Port Authority roughing to get a $1 billion application submitted to the federal government, particularly the Biden administration, to pay for the first phase of the Midtown bus terminals, given the uncertainty with whether Trump would approve that or not. What can you tell us about that? What happens if the Port Authority is unable to get that money? I saw Deputy Chief of Intergovernmental Affairs, Hirsch Park, spoke to, quote, hard decisions if that money doesn't come through.
Well, two comments. One is that loan application has been pending for more than a year. It is progressing through the U.S. Department of Transportation. We're working very closely with them, and that's what we intend to continue to do. And so I think speculating on hypotheticals doesn't serve any cause. We are going to pursue that application, and we'll make any further decisions we need to as we see how the U.S. DOT handles the application. But we've had very constructive conversations with them.
And we're hopeful and optimistic. Next question, Daniel. Thomas.
Next question's Mac Rosenberg with 1010 Wins.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good afternoon, everyone, and get started with our Q&A. Our first question is virtual, and we have Dan Munoz with the Bergen Record.
Hold on, we're repeating something for some.
Sorry about that. I think it was my fault.
All right, Mac.
So I just wanted to ask about congestion pricing. You are probably well familiar that the governor is putting it back on the table, $9 as the base toll. So you guys announced today you'll be raising the bridge and tunnel tolls. I think it was 43 cents in January, and then you're proposing another 25 cents. I guess first question would be, what's your reaction to congestion pricing being back on the table? And B, what do you say to Jersey drivers who are concerned now, in addition to having to pay the $9 toll, their tolls, at the bridges and tunnels are going to go up as well?
Well, first of all, the congestion pricing proposal only came out, so the details of it are still not clear to us. But I think we've been pretty clear over a long period of time now that that's a New York policy. The governors have been in touch with it in terms of New York and New Jersey, and that's really where the conversations should be. We laid out in terms of the Port Authority budget a very extensive discussion in terms of our capital program ambitions. I think we've demonstrated that the capital projects that we build, we deliver on them. We deliver at world-class quality. We deliver on an agenda that is at historically ambitious agenda. It's the largest capital program, plan the Port Authority has had in decades, and we're following through on it. Similarly, we have world-class ambitions in terms of operating our facilities, but we are self-funded. And so what we've tried to do is be very judicious as to how we obtain that funding. 2/3 of our funding we get from payments from our private partners, but we are dependent on tolls and fares to complete the funding picture. We think we've been very judicious about the proposals that we've made. We put them out for public comment, but I think we laid out at great length what we would do with the money, why it is a positive from the point of view of the region to have us deliver the kind of transportation facilities that we do.
Yeah, hey, Mac, your question is about Jersey drivers. Look, I'm one of them. So, I use the tunnels and one of those individuals who are going to see that. We haven't had an adjustment since 2019, as you've heard. We've lost $3 billion in 24 months during COVID. I think over the last few years, and certainly you can see by the summary today, that we've had some really significant, ambitious programs come to fruition, whether it's LaGuardia in the midst of JFK's rebuild, Terminal A. We're looking at an entirely new build of Terminal B and a Newark Vision Plan. We're looking at a $10 billion spend at the bus terminal, state-of-the-art bus terminal. Those are great ambitions for a great agency, and there are some costs that are associated with that. We think it's prudent. We think 25 cents a year for 4 years is something that we're going to have to work with. But if we're going to meet the expectations of the public and keep up with these legacy projects, we're going to have to fund it somehow. This is, we think, the most reasonable and prudent path going forward. Next question.
Final question is Larry Higgs with New Jersey Advanced Media.
Larry?
You might be muted, Larry. You see you're on.
No, Larry?
Larry, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Why don't you just have him submit the question?
Yeah, Larry, we'll give you another second, but we can you can send your question to me. We'll get it answered for you.
Is that it, Tom?
That concludes the Q&A. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.